What to do if you hate corporate life? Well, first of all, I'm going to define corporate life is not your 9 to 5 golden handcuff job that where you go to work for a corporation, get a nice benefit package or not, and you just hate that grind of that life. The corporate life I'm talking about, stay tuned. I'm going to tell you how to live with a lot of freedom in that life. So specifically, let's diagnose what you really hate about it. So we actually aren't going to recreate another context of where you're going to be doing and what you're going to be doing and how you're going to be living. Number 2, let's build an exit strategy. So what kind of cash machine business could you start that has a nice exit or has some nice ongoing cash flow? A lot of people think the exit is the only thing. I think ongoing cash flow is just as significant as the sale. And the last thing I want to talk about is how do you truly make the transition from the corporate life you understand, meaning working for a corporation in that kind of a model. And I did. I worked for Chevron for a couple years and it was very interesting, learned a lot, got a lot of structure and corporate structure and knew not the life I was going to live. I wanted to live that entrepreneurial life. And some people say, well, you work harder, longer. Yeah, but I do what I love to do. Every day I get up and I love taking care of clients. I love writing these books. I love talking to you about money because somebody's got to teach you the truth. So our corporate life, let's get started. I'm going to give you 2 tickets to our Millionaire Intensive. So we do that event once a month and it's a good 2+ hour segment where it teaches you how to live corporate life, meaning individuals get taxed, companies make money. So if you have a company, a C Corp, S Corp, LLC, or limited partnership in the United States, you actually are going to activate the greatest tax code in the world. So your company makes money, which activates a great tax code. If you make the money, you get taxed right away. So you're going to make a choice on how you want to live. Many of you are going to want to live in both categories. Some interesting facts as you think about this and you think about the next chapter. Most people have 3 to 7 careers in their life. I call them chapters. I don't even know what chapter I'm on by now, probably 13 or 14. A whole variety of things, all in the money category over the last 30 years. But the chapters have been very different in how we've approached it. Depends on which books got written and depends on the topic at hand. Like in 2022, we wrote the kids book and then followed it with a huge legacy seminar. And we've been teaching legacy ever since. In the teens of like 2010 to about 2019, we did a 3 days to cash. How do you make money in 3 days? Guaranteed you'd make money. So what are your chapters and how do you want it to be for you? So let's diagnose your real problem. Why do you hate corporate life? The traditional life that you know is corporate life, meaning you go to work 9 to 5, 9 to 5, 9 to 5, or whatever version of that you are expected to do. Couple reasons. Number 1, it's either the boss culture, lack of control. What is it? I want you to write down, why do you want to leave? I also want that set in the context that you're going to go do something different. You're not just going to go ski all day, play all day, do that all day, unless you know how to make money doing that. This is how do you transition from one money-making scheme, right, living inside corporate culture, to living inside your own corporate life, which is you and your family and the freedom of that. Before you just jump, many clients, I ask them to either go independent, meaning don't get paid as a W-2. And I've been really successful in 2025, having people that got paid a lot of money from $100,000 to $1 million as a W-2. That's an enormous tax hit. And it's the simple question is, can the company you work for pay your company, your LLC, limited partnership, S Corp, C Corp, whatever our experts tell you to set up? Can they pay the company versus pay you as a W-2? There are situations where the liability in the structure absolutely doesn't allow it. And you're going to be surprised how many companies actually, it works for them too. It saves them on taxes, saves you, and allows your company to make money. What sounds better? I make $1 million in a company or $100,000 in a company, or my company makes $1 million. My company makes $100,000. My company has its own 401k. So when I talk corporate life, I'm talking about you, your skill sets, and an enterprise that you're going to be building. So as you think about those options and that context and differences, what is your ideal day, right? So for me, my ideal day, and I wrote about it in my Yes Energy book, is to get up with 3 most important things in my life, which is God, my family, and my health. And then I come and do this, which I love to do. I just shift my day. So I'm still doing a lot of hours in a day. It's just that the hours I want to do them, that fits into my life, my kids' life, my health schedule, all of those things. So really identify what is it about it. It could be just like your environment or the people that you're working with. And again, it's fascinating to me when I look at long-term corporate employees that are literally a cubicle kind of employees. And it's as simple as you don't like the person you got sat next to, or you don't like the manager of your department, or you don't like the lunchroom. I mean, what is it really that's causing you such angst about why you want to go? As you think about your transition, number one, just start some side hustles. You probably have some great hobbies. I mean, I have some guys who are amazing welders, are now doing like beautiful art, like metal art, all the way up to some of them have gotten to really, really big projects, doing full gates and full entrances to big, beautiful houses, making 20, 30,000 a gate. And that's just an ability to weld skill set. So a lot of you have skills, you just haven't monetized them. I have a lot of women, they love to clean the house, they love to take care of families, so then do home services. There's all sorts of food prep things you could do. There's all sorts of education to kids, extra tutoring, after school care, before school care. There's so many things you could do depending on what you like to do, but get started on your own. So you're not going to jump out of a job, our opinion. I've seen it too many times where you jump out of your job and you're at a dead stop, you have no money coming in, now you get panicked, you don't have a new flow of money. So on my YouTube channel here, I have videos on how to quit your job in 90 days. It's very specific. So go up to my search bar and search for how to quit your job in 90 days and watch those videos. That'll give you that formula of how do you do that. And you got to pick the thing you really are going to stick with for a while. If you just leave and start bopping around to a whole bunch of different things you like but can't land on anything, there's no money in that. There's no money in that scatter. You've got to really focus on where you're going to go. So while you're here, I want you to subscribe to this channel, click that notification button. And again, go up to my search bar, grab a playlist, and just immerse yourself in the content. You can design the life you want, have it the way you want it, and have your kids be a big part of it, because school is not the place to teach what I teach. Parenting is where this needs to be taught. And we have a book. Make sure if you haven't grabbed the Make Your Kids Millionaires book, grab that book, because you don't want your kids locked into that corporate life that they don't enjoy either. Have them have some options to become an entrepreneur. Now, when you transition like a pro, again, you're going to use my 90-day minimum exit from being an employee to being an entrepreneur and having your own company, living your own corporate life. You want to actually download my entire Millionaire Maker book, the version 2, and I want you to read up to chapter 3. I want you to fill out the gap analysis. I want you to call into our office, get on our schedule for a one-on-one appointment, and let us help you transition like a pro as you leave your job and leave that in a healthy way to move into the life that you're really designing. And we're going to look at every facet. We're going to integrate that entire wealth and business platform on the backside so you and your family could have a legacy. If you have any questions at any time, go to askloral.com, ASKLORAL, ask a question, make a request. We'll be back tomorrow.